As the ocean waves crash against the shore, they often bring with them some of the strangest and most unexpected treasures. The truth is, no matter how prepared we think we are, the coastline always manages to surprise us. From bizarre and unidentifiable sea creatures to ancient relics like an 80-million-year-old dinosaur thigh bone, here are 20 terrifying things that have washed up on beaches. Number 20. Mysterious skull. In 2021, a mysterious skull was found washed up on a New Jersey beach. It was massive with a bizarre shape, and it got everyone speculating. Some people thought it was proof of an ancient giant race that roamed the earth, while others believed it was the remains of a dinosaur because of its size and unusual appearance. But after examination, experts determined that it was the skull of a dwarf sperm whale. The creature probably died at sea and washed up on the beach. The skull itself is pretty impressive, measuring over 3 feet long and weighing more than 300 pounds. This discovery shows how little we know about the mysterious creatures lurking in the ocean. Probably there are other surprises that might be waiting for us. Number 19. Tarballs. For a couple of years now, there have been reports of tarballs causing chaos on beaches around the world. These hard, sticky lumps of tar have the tendency to wash up on beaches. They also come in different sizes, ranging from a few millimeters to several centimeters. While they may look harmless, they contain toxic chemicals that can harm the environment and animals. Typical scenarios of these tarballs causing unrest on beaches have been seen in Manhattan Beach in California, as well as the Mediterranean coast of Israel. During the oil leak believed to have originated from a pipeline leak in 2015, the authorities had to close Manhattan Beach to clean up the tarballs. In early 2023, a massive amount of tarballs washed up on the coast of Israel, highlighting the devastating impact oil spills have on the environment. So keep an eye out for these toxic lumps whenever you visit the beach. Number 18. The 80-million-year-old dinosaur thigh bone. There was a time when dinosaurs roamed the lands we now refer to as Washington. It might sound crazy to you, but 80 million years ago it was the reality. In 2012, while searching for marine creatures and fossils in the San Juan Islands near Seattle, scientists stumbled upon something unexpected. They discovered a fossilized bone nestled within a marine rock. Excited about their find, they quickly contacted the paleontologists at the University of Washington, and a team was sent out to excavate the fossil. Now here's the thing. The rock in which the bone was embedded was incredibly tough. It took the team a full day just to extract it from the rock and another 18 months to meticulously prepare it for analysis. The scientists involved weren't even certain what they had discovered, so all the hard work and patience could have been in vain if it turned out to be a fluke. But finally, the moment of truth arrived. They managed to turn the bone over, and to their amazement, it turned out to be a thigh bone from a meat-eating theropod dinosaur. Now, the location of this extraordinary finding led scientists to believe that the dinosaur met its demise near the sea. Its remains were thrown about in the crashing waves until finally finding their resting place among the clams. This discovery offers us a fascinating glimpse into the prehistoric world that once existed right here in Washington. Number 17. The mystery of the lost German submarine. There's a fascinating tale about a German submarine used during World War I finding itself stranded on Hastings Beach in England. The appearance of this lost submarine has ignited a frenzy of national and international attention, with everyone wondering where it came from. According to the story, the crew intentionally beached the submarine after encountering mechanical issues. They couldn't make their way back to their home port, so they made a tough call and left the submarine in the ocean. Fast forward to when it was found on the beach. It wasn't long before it was dismantled to prevent it from becoming a tourist attraction. Over time, the story of this discovery has faded into the past. It's a tale that stirs our imagination and keeps the history buffs hooked. Number 16. Grunion fish. The grunion fish is a unique and fascinating species that can only be found along the southern coast of California in the United States. During the spring and summer months, these fish come ashore in large numbers to lay their eggs in the sand. And what makes their spawning process remarkable is that it can only be witnessed at night under the light of stars and the moon. As the female grunion swims onto the beach, she uses her tail to dig a small nest in the sand and lay her eggs. One or more male fish then join her to fertilize the eggs. The male then uses its tail to cover the eggs with sand, protecting them from predators. Despite how captivating their spawning behavior is, the grunion population is currently threatened by habitat loss, pollution, and overfishing. Fortunately, efforts are being made to protect and preserve them, including the establishment of protected marine areas and the application of sustainable fishing practices. Now it's time for today's topic. A chilling discovery stunned beachgoers when a massive transparent sea creature washed ashore on a quiet stretch of coastline near Cornwall, England. The bizarre fish-like body, measuring nearly 7 feet long, appeared almost glass-like, with its internal structures clearly visible. What shocked onlookers the most was the eerie humanoid figure trapped inside its translucent form, curled tightly as if preserved within. Marine biologists were quickly alerted, and photos spread rapidly across social media, drawing comparisons to science fiction creatures. Some speculated it could be a deep-sea species forced to the surface by shifting ocean currents, while others feared it might be a mutation linked to pollution in the North Atlantic. The unsettling sight raised questions about just how little is known about what inhabits the darkest parts of our oceans. Experts from the Natural History Museum in London admitted they had never documented anything quite like it. While skeptics suggested it might be an elaborate hoax, the sheer detail of the creature left many unsettled. Even Sir David Attenborough's name surfaced in online discussions, with fans saying this was the kind of discovery that would worry him if proven real. For now, the specimen remains under investigation, leaving locals uneasy about what else the tides might bring in. Number 15. Sperm whale vomit. When it comes to humans, our regurgitated meals aren't exactly going to bring home the bacon, but for these sea giants, it's a whole different ballgame. The sperm whale's vomit is a highly sought-after substance called ambergris. Just recently, in September of 2021, a fisherman in South Thailand found a massive 66-pound lump of ambergris on a beach in Sarangani province. Surprisingly, it was worth more than $1 million. If you're wondering exactly what this ambergris stuff is, it's a rare ingredient found in luxury perfumes. This waxy substance is produced in the digestive system of whales, and it's believed to form in response to the sharp beaks of the squids they eat. Eventually, this fragrant lump floats in the ocean for years before washing up on beaches. Over time, ambergris develops a unique scent due to exposure to sunlight and saltwater, making it even more valuable to perfume companies. It's hard to pinpoint the exact value of this precious substance, but it's considered one of the most expensive things in the world. Number 14. The enigma of the alien hand. In this age of space exploration, we all dream of making contact with beings from beyond our planet. Here comes the alien hand, a mind-boggling discovery made on a beach in Wisconsin, USA. It all started when a group of friends were out for a leisurely stroll along the coastline, embracing the beauty of the day. And then suddenly, they stumbled upon something downright bizarre. At first glance, they thought it was a prop left over from Halloween. Upon closer inspection, they realized they had stumbled upon something out of this world, a skeletal hand like nothing they had ever seen. News of this discovery spread like wildfire, and people everywhere were buzzing with excitement over the possibility of encountering extraterrestrial life. Amidst all concerns, marine biologist Eric C. stated that the unusual hand belonged to a cetacean, an aquatic animal that includes whales, dolphins, and porpoises. He later admitted that further tests would be required to determine which one of them it would fall into. What do you think the tests would reveal? Well, we'll find out later. Number 13. Amazon River Monster. Imagine stumbling upon the rotting body of a dead Amazon River monster near the Gulf of Mexico in Florida. Coming across a sight like this is pretty rare, and it got the residents of Florida all worried. They started wondering if this creature could be the latest invasive species to make its home in the area. This monster is known as the arapaima, and it's the world's largest freshwater fish. We're talking about a fish that can grow up to 10 feet long and weigh a whopping 440 pounds. Surprisingly, these creatures aren't exactly at ease in the ocean. They actually prefer to breed in nests on floodplains and spend a lot of time and energy caring for their young. They reach sexual maturity between 3 to 5 years old, so they've got quite a journey ahead of them. Scientists were concerned that Florida might not be the ideal habitat for these monsters. Spotting one dead made them wonder if there are more lurking beneath the surface, hiding out of fear. What's even more interesting is that these creatures are prized for their meat, especially in rural regions along the river. Their boneless meat, once salted, can be stored without refrigeration. But unfortunately, this makes them highly sought after, leading to overfishing. So they don't even stand a chance when they come up to gulp in some air. Number 12. Ancient megalodon tooth. For any kid fascinated by sharks, stumbling upon a shark tooth is like striking gold. And that's exactly what happened to Foster Frazier, a 7-year-old boy, while on vacation with his family in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. The Fraziers would often go on beach hunts for shark teeth, a fun family tradition. But this time, Foster's search yielded something extraordinary. As he rinsed off what seemed like an ordinary rock, it turned out to be a massive shark tooth. Regular shark teeth are usually impressive, reaching up to 4 inches in length, but this tooth was on a whole different level. It was the tooth of a megalodon, a prehistoric giant shark, measuring over 5 inches long. The timing couldn't have been more perfect. Foster, a shark enthusiast who devoured books about these ancient creatures, had dreamt of finding a megalodon tooth one day. And that day in 2016 became his lucky day. This tooth, millions of years old, now finds its home on display in Peoria, Illinois, at the Riverfront Museum, captivating visitors with its incredible history. Number 11. Jellyfish on the beach. As the summer heat cranks up and people move to the coast for some fun in the sun, they're being welcomed by thousands of sea creatures washing up on the shore. One of these sea creatures found is the jellyfish. This particular species of jellyfish, called Aurelia aurita or moon jellyfish, are quite common in the Sea of Azov, which is a part of the Black Sea. While these jellyfish aren't usually deadly to us humans, their stinging tentacles can still pack a punch and cause some serious pain. Some reports even mention a sticky substance left behind from their stings, which feels really unpleasant. They are transparent and have a distinct clover shape with fluttering tentacles extending from their bell. Experts believe that the strong winds and currents have pushed these jellyfish to the coast because they're usually seen in the Black Sea during the summer months. Meanwhile, authorities have issued warnings to beachgoers to be cautious and avoid touching these creatures. Number 10. A Civil War bomb. Recently, a bomb dating back to the Civil War was discovered on a beach in Barcelona. The bomb had actually been buried in the sand for decades, highlighting the lasting impact of past conflicts that can sometimes remain hidden. This beach in Barcelona is not only a popular tourist spot, but it also holds historical significance as a defense location during the Spanish Civil War in the 1930s. The bomb itself weighed a staggering 76 pounds and was still believed to be active at the time of its discovery. The authorities wasted no time in calling in the bomb squad experts to safely remove and destroy it. This incident serves as a stark reminder to all of us to stay vigilant and report any suspicious objects we come across on the beach to the local authorities. Number 9. Bees on the beach. We all know that bees love buzzing around flowers and plants, collecting nectar and pollen, so finding them on the beach is quite unusual. But there have been some exceptions to the rule, like in Cape May, New Jersey, where beachgoers have been spotting these little buzzers. Some experts suggest that these bees were probably following their queen or searching for water. In reality, we all need to stay hydrated, even the bees. And here's the interesting part. Nearby holly trees might be the reason these bees are getting their beach vibes on. Holly trees provide the bees with the sweet nectar and pollen they love, so they might be attracted to the beach because of these trees. Unfortunately, bee populations worldwide have been dwindling due to detrimental factors such as pesticide exposure, habitat loss, and disease. Therefore, the presence of bees on a popular public space like a beach raises alarm bells among beekeepers and environmental activists. Number 8. Truck-sized basking shark. There was a video that went viral online in 2021 which captured the moment when a massive basking shark washed up on the coast of Bremen. People couldn't believe their eyes. They were absolutely surprised. Some even thought it was too good to be true and must have been edited, but no, it was real. Scientists confirmed that this incredible creature measured a staggering 26 feet long. Crowds quickly gathered along the shoreline, with some brave locals edging closer to take photos, while others kept a nervous distance, awed by its sheer size. Marine rescue teams soon arrived to cordon off the area, worried that curious onlookers might try to touch the animal. Witnesses described the scene as both majestic and eerie, like standing beside a stranded sea monster pulled straight from myth. The viral clip spread worldwide within hours, fueling debates about climate change, ocean currents, and whether these events might become more common in the future. Imagine coming across that on the beach. Basking sharks are the second largest fish in the sea, with only the whale shark surpassing their size. These gentle giants prefer warm waters and are harmless to humans. They have a unique way of feeding, cruising underwater with their mouths wide open, scooping up zooplankton and invertebrates with their gills. With their rugged bodies and impressive size, it's understandable to feel a little intimidated around them. Sometimes they jump really high, about 4 feet above the water surface. Researchers aren't exactly sure why this particular basking shark washed ashore, but maybe it got into a tussle on the water surface. Who knows? Number 7. Young killer whale. There was a story about a young killer whale that got stranded on a Scottish beach in 2021. It's hard to imagine any sea creature falling victim to natural disasters, but it showed that anyone can be a victim of the forces of nature. Luckily, a group of trained medics from the British Divers Marine Life Rescue was in the area when it happened. They quickly sprang into action to help the poor little fella. Local bystanders watched in silence, some with tears in their eyes, as the orca's cries echoed across the shore. The rescuers poured buckets of seawater over its skin to keep it hydrated while planning the safest way to move it. The animal thrashed weakly at first, but soon calmed as the team worked in careful unison, showing the trust that sometimes forms between humans and wildlife. Each passing minute felt critical, as the weight of the young orca and the scorching sun could have quickly turned the situation fatal. Volunteers formed a line, shielding the animal from the wind and onlookers to minimize its stress. The atmosphere was tense but hopeful, everyone united in the single goal of giving this stranded whale a second chance at life. These experts examined the animal and realized it was healthy and old enough to survive independently. They carefully lifted the 11-foot-long orca into a special stretcher and returned it to the water where it belonged. It took 8 people to lift the orca and put it back in the water. When it landed in the ocean, it swam off and was never seen again. The entire rescue operation took just 1 hour, and it was a huge success. These types of strandings can be a big deal because they're challenging to deal with manually, but with the invention of a dolphin stretcher, animals can now be reunited with their families within minutes. This particular orca was believed to be a 3- or 4-year-old male capable of living alone under normal circumstances. Number 6. Harley-Davidson bike. Natural disasters can cause tremendous devastation, wiping out homes and belongings worth millions of dollars. But amidst the wreckage, there are stories of resilience and hope. Take Ikuo Yokoyama, for example. In 2011, a tsunami struck, taking away his beloved Harley-Davidson bike. However, in the face of tragedy, Ikuo's focus was on the lives lost, his 3 family members. Material possessions can be replaced, but loved ones cannot. Even though he lost his bike, he knew that if he could have his family back, that was all that mattered. In the aftermath, Yokoyama lived in temporary housing, surrounded by reminders of the devastation that had swept away entire communities. He often thought back to the open roads and freedom his Harley once gave him, a symbol of independence that now lay somewhere in the vast Pacific. The motorcycle had been stored inside a steel container, which had floated across the ocean like a time capsule of his past life. For months, debris from the tsunami washed ashore across North America, but no one ever expected something so personal, so intact, to resurface. When Peter Marks stumbled upon the rusted frame on Graham Island, he couldn't believe that such a powerful current had carried it more than 3,000 miles. The discovery quickly spread through local news outlets, connecting 2 distant shores with one extraordinary story of survival and fate. But life has a way of surprising us. A year later, and over 3,000 miles away, his motorcycle miraculously washed ashore. Peter Mark, exploring a beach on Graham Island, stumbled upon the rusty remnants of what was once Ikuo's cherished ride. News of the discovery spread, catching the attention of a Harley-Davidson representative in Japan. They reached out to Yokoyama, offering to cover the transportation cost and repair the bike. Ikuo gratefully accepted the offer, and weeks later, he was reunited with the only physical item that survived the devastating tsunami. It became a symbol of resilience and a reminder to cherish what truly matters in life. Number 5. Sea tornado spotted on Brazilian beach. Just imagine seeing a massive tornado approaching the beach while enjoying a calm sunny day. It's enough to send chills down your spine. A sea tornado, also known as a waterspout, was spotted swirling over the sea near Montenegro Beach in Natal, Brazil. Onlookers stood frozen, some rushing to capture the twisting column on their phones, while others scrambled to move inland. Witnesses described the roaring sound as similar to a jet engine, echoing across the shoreline as the waterspout snaked its way across the waves. Lifeguards immediately evacuated swimmers from the water, fearing the storm might intensify and move toward the beach. Boats nearby fought to keep their balance as the spray reached several meters into the air, creating a wall of mist. For a few tense minutes, it seemed as though the vortex might grow stronger, but just as suddenly as it appeared, it began to dissipate. The sight left the crowd both terrified and awestruck, a reminder of nature's unpredictable fury. Luckily, in most cases, these waterspouts tend to fizzle out harmlessly over the water before they cause any more damage. There's another type of tornado that occurs on sandy beaches known as sandspouts. These mini tornadoes can be quite common when there's a lot of wind and temperature differences. While they are smaller and weaker than their big siblings, they can still cause damage and pose a danger. In fact, in 2019, a sandspout whirled to Coney Island in New York, snatching tents and beach chairs before dissipating over the ocean. Brazil is no stranger to sandspouts either, particularly along the southeast coast. In 2020, another sandspout made an alarming appearance off the coast of Sao Paulo, leaving local residents in awe. Nature sure knows how to keep us on our toes. Number 4. Humongous pipes. Imagine spending a sunny day on the shores of a British beach, hoping for a lovely tan and some memorable moments with your friends and family. But instead, what you'd find is far from what you expected. For massive plastic pipes scattered on the sand, each measuring up to 1,575 feet long. That sounds bizarre, right? Beachgoers were stunned, some even mistaking the pipes for stranded submarines at first glance. Children clambered over them like playground structures, while others stopped to snap photos of the surreal sight. Local residents described the scene as both fascinating and frightening, given that the pipes seemed to stretch endlessly across the sand. Officials quickly explained that these enormous tubes had broken free from their tow during stormy weather while being transported by sea. Strong currents carried them hundreds of miles before they finally washed ashore on the Norfolk coast. For a short while, the unusual discovery drew curious crowds, transforming the beach into a makeshift tourist attraction. Environmental groups expressed concern about the risk to wildlife if the pipes weren't swiftly removed, even though they carried no chemicals. Engineers arriving on site marveled at the scale of the objects, noting that each one was wide enough for a car to drive through. Well, it turns out that these pipes were intended for a critical project in Algeria, but became loose and ended up on the Ekring Sea Beach in North Norfolk coast. Luckily, the pipes were contained, and a team was immediately sent in for a recovery operation. The pipes were refloated and safely returned to their Norwegian manufacturers. And while they weren't a pollution hazard, their massive sizes made them quite an unsightly sight on the otherwise beautiful beach. Number 3. Mysterious Metal Ball. In early 2023, a story unfolded on the shores of Umi no Beach in Hamamatsu, Japan. A mysterious metal ball, like a hidden treasure, washed ashore. But this wasn't an ordinary ball. It measured a whopping 1.5 meters in diameter. The possibility of this metal ball being a stray mine was ruled out, as experts who examined the object using X-ray technology found that it was hollow. Local residents recalled hearing strange metallic clanging sounds during the night before its discovery, fueling suspicions that the object had drifted ashore recently rather than being buried there for long. News crews quickly descended on the beach, broadcasting live images of the strange sphere and prompting comparisons to science fiction films. Children whispered that it looked like something out of Dragon Ball, while older locals remembered stories of World War II sea mines and felt uneasy. Police cordoned off the area, creating a sense of tension as onlookers gathered behind the barriers to glimpse the object. Some suggested it could be a buoy used in maritime industries, but the pristine condition and unusual weld marks didn't quite fit. Amateur sleuths online pored over photographs, matching it to possible space junk or deep-sea monitoring devices. Social media exploded with hashtags about the Umi no Beach sphere, making the object a viral sensation in Japan and abroad. Even international outlets began reporting on the mystery, further amplifying the aura of intrigue surrounding the ball. This left people wondering what exactly it was. Even the authorities had no idea about its nature and origin, leading to intense speculation online. Theories ranged from aliens to top-secret government experiments and remnants of a meteorite. Despite the fact that this mysterious metal ball is unlikely to explode, we can't say for certain if it's from outer space. But who knows? The truth might just be out of this world. Number 2. Giant driftwood trees. Imagine taking a leisurely stroll along the beach, admiring the waves crashing on the shore, when suddenly you come across a massive tree. That's exactly what happened to the residents in La Push, Washington. This part of the state is known for its towering trees, and it's not uncommon to come across driftwood. But this particular piece of wood was something special. Experts estimate that it was between 5 to 10 feet wide and hundreds of feet tall. Onlookers described the scene as both awe-inspiring and surreal, with families gathering to snap photos beside the colossal trunk as if it were a monument. Local elders recalled similar stories from decades past, when enormous logs washed ashore after violent storms, though none could remember seeing one this size. Some even suggested that the tree might have originated from deep within Olympic National Park, carried downstream by raging floodwaters before being claimed by the sea. Scientists noted that the salt water would eventually begin to eat away at the massive log, turning it into a temporary habitat for barnacles, crabs, and seabirds. In the meantime, the tree became a natural playground for children, who climbed along its massive length while parents marveled at the power of the storm that brought it there. The discovery quickly spread on social media, drawing curious visitors eager to witness what many called nature's giant gift to the coastline. It's hard to imagine how such a giant tree ended up on the beach, but it's likely that powerful winds and high tides forced it ashore during winter storms. Many trees that line rivers cannot withstand the force and end up toppling over. Some end up flowing in the rivers for years before reaching the shore. The first person to spot this behemoth of a tree said that the winds were howling and the rain was pouring when it washed ashore. But La Push Beach is no stranger to driftwood of all sizes, and researchers have identified this particular species as the western red cedar, a signature tree of temperate rainforests. In fact, it's believed to be the biggest piece of driftwood ever found, and nobody has been able to debunk this claim. It's an incredible sight to see and a reminder of the power of nature. Number 1. The mystery of the mermaid. For centuries, these enchanting beings have captivated humanity's imagination. But what if mermaids are more than just fantastical beings of folklore? A recent discovery on Liverpool Beach has left people scratching their heads. A possible mermaid skeleton appeared overnight and has puzzled experts trying to uncover its origin. Eyewitnesses described seeing crowds gather quickly, some taking photos while others whispered nervously about curses and omens from the sea. Local authorities cordoned off the area, but not before a few curious onlookers claimed the skeleton gave off a strange, salty odor unlike any ordinary fish remains. Rumors spread that the bones might belong to a centuries-old hoax from smugglers who once disguised animal remains to frighten locals away from hidden coves. Others suggested that shifting tides had unearthed something buried long ago, possibly connected to lost sailors' tales of strange creatures washing ashore. Skeptics, however, were quick to point out that it could be an elaborate art installation designed to stir conversation. Scientists took samples for testing, but results have not yet been released, keeping the mystery alive. Meanwhile, folklore enthusiasts have flocked to Liverpool, eager to connect the find with old Celtic legends of Selkies and sea maidens who lured sailors into the waves. It's no secret that mermaid videos have been circulating on the internet for years, but let's be honest, the authenticity of these videos has never been truly proven. Some believe in the existence of mermaids, while others brush them off as mere sightings of manatees or sea cows. But this discovery on Liverpool Beach has sparked a fresh wave of debate. The skeleton found on the beach bears an uncanny resemblance to a humanoid figure with a long tail, everything we imagine a mermaid to be. In essence, the mystery of the mermaid remains unsolved, leaving us all with an air of wonder and curiosity. Thanks for watching. While you're here, be sure to click one of the videos on your screen to keep enjoying more amazing content. See you in the next video.